find evolution hard to believe. Although it's more than thoroughly proven, at first, not even Darwin could believe it. So how did he come to write and publish one of the most important and controversial theories in science history? A blessed afternoon to all of us. We are Group 2 and we're here to introduce Charles Darwin. So please spare us your time and lend us your ears as we tackle who is Charles Darwin, what are his contributions to the body of knowledge, and how did it affect the society.
Who is Charles Darwin? Charles Robert Darwin was born on 12 of February 1809 at Shrewsbury, Shropshire, England. He was died on 19th of April 1882 at Down House, Down, United Kingdom, at the age of 73. He was the second son of Robert Waring Darwin, a society doctor, and Savannah Wedgwood, daughter of the Unitarian pottery industrialist Josiah Wedgwood.
Charles Darwin had wanted to study nature even though his father wanted him to be a doctor or a priest. The defying young Darwin embarked on a ship sent to chart the coast of South America because he wanted to connect and study exotic animal specimens. But he found that the 5-year trip would lead him to question his beliefs in God and the existence of God.
Charles Darwin is also known for the voyage of the Beagle, on the origin of species and descent of man. So moving on to the next topic, on which we will discuss about his contributions to the body of knowledge. The first one is Darwin's greatest discovery, design without designer. He completed the Copernican revolution by drawing out for biology the notion of nature as a system of matter in motion governed by natural laws. With Darwin's discovery of natural selection, the origin and adaptations of organisms were brought into the realm of science. The adaptive features of organisms could now be explained, like the phenomena of the inanimate world, as the result of natural processes without recourse to an intelligent designer. The Copernican and the Darwinian revolutions may be seen as the two stages of the one scientific revolution. Second one is Charles Darwin, a great name in field of evolution. He was explored the world and was the first to know to explain about evolution. Charles Darwin was English biologist and naturalist who gave theories of evolution. His theory of evolution stated that none of the two individuals of the same species are exactly similar, and these differences are due to the genetic differences. The third one is the theory of evolution by natural selection. He states that all species of organisms arise and develop through the natural selection of small, inherited variations that increase the individual's ability to complete, survive, and reproduce. Charles Darwin was a naturalist who observed many aspects of nature and compiled his ideas into a theory called natural selection. More specifically, his theory is called the theory of evolution by natural selection because it explains a way in which populations can evolve. We also have the economy of nature, in which, in the decades that followed the publication of The Origin of Species, it was often suggested that Darwin's work had implications for the economic order. Darwinism, it was said, demonstrated the effectiveness of competition and provided a defense of capitalism. His contribution in science and technology were Charles Darwin is centrally important in the development of scientific and humanist ideas because he first made people aware of their place in the evolutionary process when the most powerful and intelligent form of life discovered how humanity had evolved. The last one is his contribution in agriculture. This explained that Darwin's best argument for the power of natural selection was borrowed from agriculture, specifically the success of plant and animal breeders in improving crops and livestock. How did it affect the society? First, he made people aware of their place in the evolutionary process. Second, Darwinism allowed us to gain a better understanding of our world. And lastly, he transformed the way we understand the natural world with ideas. This explains what Charles Darwin became the enemy of church because of his theory that contradicted the teachings of the church. Most people refused to challenge the ideas of the church, but once Charles Darwin questioned church teachings, other scientists followed his footsteps. He did science and controversial experiments to discover new things that can prove his theory. This explains why some of the people nowadays do not believe God's creation.
Everything fit together, but there was a final hurdle. Darwin, like the society he lived in, was deeply religious, and all the evidence that he found contradicted Christian beliefs. It would take him over 20 years to write and publish his revolutionary book on the origin of species, but when he finally did, it became one of the most influential scientific treatises of all time.
For the last topic, we have Thomas Andrews. Thomas Andrews was a British businessman and shipbuilder, chief designer of several vessels made by the Irish shipbuilding company Harland and Wolff. He was born on February 7, 1873 in Comber, County Down, Ireland. His nationality is British. He died at age of 39 years old. He is a famous business person and naval architect. His famous invention is the ship Titanic. Impacts to the society. Coast Guards patrolled the sea to ensure the safety of voyagers. They formed the International Ice Patrol for the safety of life at sea. The rules changed, requiring every vessel include enough lifeboats and life jackets for every person on board. The Radio Act of 1912 was passed to regulate the use of certain bandwidths between U.S. Navy and amateur radio operators. It also required to maintain constant communication with other vessels and radio stations. Because of this terrible tragedy, Americans at home feel uncomfortable. They were convinced that the Titanic would sail smoothly as the best ship of the time. But the ship sank and took the lives of nearly 2,000 people. Overall, because of the tragedy happened to Titanic makes the ship designers and manufacturers to reevaluate or refine their design to be able to make a more safer and much stronger ship designs. This will make the society feel more comfortable knowing that they're on board a thoroughly designed ship.
That, ladies and gentlemen, was what we wanted to share with you. We sincerely appreciate your attention today. We hope you learned a lot about our presentation. Would anyone like to ask any questions? If none, thank you.